Greetings, Boogie fans! Michael here, and I am back. Well, kind of. I wasn't really gone, per se. I've been posting quite a lot of videos the last couple months. But if you're someone who is a subscriber of mine who doesn't care for my Let's Plays or Metronome battles or Pokemon talk, well, you have bad taste. I'm kidding. You clearly like my top 10s, which means your taste is at least somewhat excusable. All joking aside, this is my first top 10 or similar video I've made in several months. I wasn't really happy with the ones I was making, wasn't having fun with them, wasn't really having any ideas that I was excited about, so I decided to take a step back, take a break from them for a little while until the itch to create them returned, and that itch has indeed returned. I'm gonna aim for going back to the weekly Saturday top 10 type videos, except for Pokemon Talk weekends. Hopefully I'll be consistent with that. I may not, we'll have to see. But without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this metaphoric hydrocortisone itch cream. Because this video is taking care of my itch. You know, a joke is like a frog. If you dissect it, it dies. And that is what I'm doing. So I'm gonna stop talking. Pokemon is a fantastic series of video games. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel about it, because then that would be silly. But it can be aggravating at times, like all video games. You might be looking for a specific Pokemon that you can't find and it takes forever. You might lose a battle that was really close, or just get blown absolutely back. Or you could be fighting a specific Pokemon that makes you want to pull all of your hair out because battling it is so freaking frustrating. Today I'm going to be focusing on some of those Pokemon from that last point by counting down the top 10 most frustrating Pokemon to battle against. This could be for a multitude of reasons. They could be very, very strong and tough to beat, or their strategy could just be really freaking annoying. Any sort of reason they're frustrating. Also keep in mind, this is going to be based on mainly my personal experiences, so because of that, there's probably some Pokemon you think are frustrating to battle that won't end up on the list. So after the video, if there's any that you're like, that should have been on here, it's frustrating, let me know in the comments below. So be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel if you're new and like Pokemon, hit that bell to turn on notifications if you're already subscribed and you like my videos and actually want to see them. And without further ado, here are the top 10 most frustrating Pokemon to battle. Number 10, Clefable. No one gave a Raticate's nose pass about Clefable until Generation 6, when it became a pure fairy type Pokemon, transforming it from something that was pretty irrelevant to one of the most annoying Pokemon to battle against. The combination of its bulk and its pure fairy typing, meaning it's only weak to steel and poison, two pretty uncommon attacking types, means that it's gonna be pretty rare you're gonna KO this thing in one hit. Additionally, its amazing ability Magic Guard means that you can't whittle it down with status conditions, and combine that with its really annoying moves such as Reliable Recovery and Moonlight, Cosmic Power to boost its defenses, and freaking Minimize, and you too may react the way that the Guardian did when battling a Clefable in his least favorite Pokemon list.
Yes! No! I actually want to die right now.
Number 9, Dunsparce. For most, Dunsparce is not a Pokemon you would think of right away when considering Pokemon that are frustrating to battle. Mainly because it's very rarely seen in battle, and also when it is, it tends to be obliterated pretty quickly. But one Dunsparce in particular has scarred me enough to warrant its placement on this list, and that is the Dunsparce owned by Gentleman Dun. In my playthrough of the Pokemon fan game Pokemon Insurgents from earlier this year, I was in desperate need of money. Thankfully, I discovered a great way to grind up money was to use something called the Memory Chamber, a feature of the game's Dex Nav that allowed you to instantly summon a battle with a Pokemon trainer from a predetermined list, all of which had Pokemon at exactly level 50. I looked at the list of trainers on the Insurgents wiki and discovered that the most efficient way to grind money was to toss an amulet coin on one of my Pokemon and battle Gentleman Dun over and over and over again. for two big reasons. One, he only had one measly Dunsparce to defeat each battle, and two, the only trainers that gave more prize money than him had teams of 5 Pokemon, which at the time, considering my team was low level 40s, that would be too difficult and time consuming to beat. So I go into it thinking, this will be a piece of cake, I'll get rich in no time. Well, little did I know that his Dunsparce has one of the most annoying movesets on the freaking planet. Body Slam with a chance to paralyze every time it attacks, plus 3 moves with a solid chance to flinch. Bite, Headbutt, and Rock Slide. Every freaking turn it felt like I was getting either fully paralyzed or I was getting flinched, preventing me from even doing any damage to this stupid Dunsparce. And it took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize the reason it was happening so often wasn't because I was getting unlucky, it's because the dang thing had Serene Grace. Since it was a higher level than my Pokemon, it was outspeeding most of my team, and I wasn't really able to OHKO it with anyone but my fighting type Pokemon. And even then, it most of the time took 2. I wanted to spread experience around more, but I couldn't because my fighting type was my best answer for it. Dunsparce is lower on this list because Dunsparce really hasn't frustrated me outside of this specific one, but I wanted to put it on here because that afternoon of money grinding against the most annoying Dunsparce on the planet is definitely something I am thankful I never have to do again. Number 8, Chansey. Chansey is a lot like Clefable. They're both pink, they're both Generation 1, they're both relatively rotund, and they're both very annoying to battle. Except Chansey is substantially worse than Clefable. A Chansey holding an Eviolite plus its absurd HP and special defense stats means that this thing just does not freaking die. And its moveset allows it to stay alive as well. Get it down to half health after 10 turns? It'll just soft boil back up to full. Try to whittle it down with a status condition like burn or poison? Haha, nope, because it'll just switch out and activate its natural cure, or stay in and just use Heal Bell. Think you can outlast it since its attack power is awful? Well, probably not, because it can just toxic you and then seismic toss you over and over again for reliable damage every single time. And if you're not playing Smogon rules, some of them run Minimize, which as we've discussed, is insanity inducing. Now, Clefable is not perfect since any strong physical attacker is gonna beat it most of the time, but even so, it's clearly very annoying. Because do you know anyone who competitively battles on a regular basis that doesn't just hate this thing? Number 7, Miltank. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know well that I have a hate-hate relationship with Miltank. It's ugly and its large nipples weird me out, but also I hate it because it has been incredibly frustrating for me to battle against on many different occasions. We all know Whitney's Miltank with its flinching stomp, devastating rollout, immobilizing attract, and healing milk drink has been the bane of every Johto traveler's existence since 1999. But Miltank is also very frustrating to battle against elsewhere, such as the Battle Mason. Just look at these frickin' Battle Mason sets for Miltank. Dear God. Heck, I even lost to a Miltank in the Metronome Battle Federation a couple weeks ago when I was up 6 Pokemon to 2, and this stupid thing came back and beat me. I don't understand how I'm continuously haunted by infuriating battles against this stupid pink cow, and I'm reasonably confident that it's haunted many of you as well. Number 6, Pokemon in Generation 1 with Wrap, Bind, Fire Spin, or Clamp. Okay, this is not a specific Pokemon, but I still wanted to talk about it because it's extremely frustrating. For those who don't know, in Generation 1, so red, blue, and yellow, the moves that I described, Wrap, Bind, Fire Spin, and Clamp, when they do recurring damage each turn, yes, they do the damage like nowadays, but they also prevent the target from attacking at all. Now, if you combine using one of those moves with a Pokemon that likes to use status conditions like Confusion or Poison or maybe even Sleep, well, let's just say I had a particularly rough encounter with a Bellsprout. Now on the flip side of that, to be fair, unlike now, you could actually switch out a Pokemon that was suffering from one of those moves. But I didn't know that until yesterday. So in my first playthrough of Generation 1 on Yellow on the Virtual Console a year and a half ago, well, as I said, I am still occasionally haunted with nightmares of that rapping Bellsprout. Number 5, Ferrothorn. Before we begin, I am aware that the official anime pronunciation of this Pokemon is Ferrothorn, but I am choosing to reject that reality and substitute my own correct one by pronouncing it Ferrothorn, because its name is intended to be a combination of ferrum or ferrous and thorn, not ferocity and thorn. So I'm calling it Ferrothorn, as should you. If that offends you, suck it up. I've always liked Ferrothorn as a Pokemon. I actually used one in my very first playthrough of Generation 5 back in my old white version. However, while I enjoyed using it in that playthrough, it has been a thorn in the side of competitive battlers since its introduction. Pun very much intended. It is a master of chip damage. With its ability Iron Barbs combined with a Rocky Helmet, which most Ferrothorn sets tend to run, if your attack makes contact with Ferrothorn, that's about 30% of your Pokemon's health just gone like that. And my goodness, if your attack is a multi-hit move, God help you. In addition to that, it can get lots of other chip damage on you in a variety of ways. It tends to run Leech Seed, which as you know, is very unfortunate to be on the bad end of. It usually uses entry hazards. It can learn both Stealth Rocks and Spikes. And it tends to run Toxic as well and can whittle you down in that way. Plus, a lot of them use Protect to allow you to die even more to its frickin' chip damage. It's also got pretty solid typing, only being weak to fighting and fire, which means there's not very many Pokemon that are going to be able to reliably take this thing down. Now, while I personally haven't battled very many Ferrothorn, I can definitely understand why it's one of the most frustrating Pokemon in competitive battling out there. Number 4, Mega Kangaskhan. Man, f this thing. It is easily one of the most broken Pokemon in the entire freaking game. It's got a base attack stat of 125, combined with Parental Bond, which makes almost all of its attacks hit for 1.5 times damage, and some other attacks, like Power Up Punch, getting twice the amount of boosts. Mega Kangaskhan is so frustrating because if it's actually allowed in a battle format, which it shouldn't be in any of them, you always have to prepare for it because it's the best Pokemon out there and everybody's gonna freaking use one. Let me give you some stats, okay? In the 2016 VGC Worlds Tournament, 11 of the top 24 Masters Division teams had a Mega Kangaskhan on their team. In 2015, 6 of the top 8 Masters Division teams had a freaking Mega Kangaskhan on their team. That's so many freaking Mega Kangaskhan's! Always having to think about how to handle one specific broken Pokemon is a very frustrating thing to deal with, and honestly a large contributor as to why I lost interest in VGC a few years back. Number 3, Ultra Necrozma. Many people complain nowadays that the newer Pokemon games are too easy. Well, Ultra Necrozma spat right in the face of that idea, but in a really freaking frustrating way. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are not particularly difficult games. Yes, the teacher battle at the beginning did catch me off guard, and some of the totem battles were quite a challenge, but overall, they're really not that hard, especially for an experienced player like me. So imagine my frustration when I'd been blowing through the game no problem for quite some time, and then suddenly I'm face to face with a 754 base stat total Pokemon that's 5 levels higher than my entire team, has an Omni boost, and has an ability that makes super effective hits 25% more powerful. There was a lot of it. Ultra Necrozma was such a drastically more difficult battle than any other battle in the game so far, so it's definitely understandable why people would get frustrated by it. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm definitely down for Pokemon giving some challenges in their freaking games, but having the game be relatively easy and then suddenly giving us a battle that's virtually impossible to beat with regular game progression and having no knowledge or preparation ahead of time it's the wrong way to do it, in my opinion, and definitely a very frustrating way to do it. Number 2, Togekiss. You ever heard of Paraflinch Togekiss? Well, if not, bless you, my child, your innocence is preserved. Well, until now, because I'm going to explain it to you. Paraflinch Togekiss is Gentleman Dunsparce on steroids. First off, it's gonna come in, it's gonna Thunder Wave your Pokemon, making it virtually guaranteed to be faster. Then, it's gonna spam Air Slash, with Togekiss's Serene Grace ability, gives it a 60% chance to flinch you every single time. So with the combination of your chance to be fully paralyzed and your 60% chance that you're gonna be flinched, you're not gonna hit this freaking thing. And since it's not taking any hits, this allows Leftovers and Roost to recover any HP that it may have lost. If it even lost any at all, and with its very good bulk, this thing's gonna be sticking around for quite a while. Few things in Pokemon are more frustrating than not getting to attack. And if you don't have a fast electric type Pokemon to prevent yourself from getting paralyzed and to strike back with a strong electric move, well, Togekiss is probably going to frustrate you to tears. Number 1, Watchog. Okay, boys and girls, we're gonna talk about Watchog, one of my least favorite Pokemon and far and away the most frustrating Pokemon to battle. Good God, I hate this thing. Let's get started. Watchog's not gonna bother you at all in competitive play. It's a trash Pokemon. You're never gonna see it. But in a Unova playthrough, black, white, black 2, maybe even white 2, well, it's gonna be very freaking frustrating for you. You're gonna see this stupid thing everywhere, and its moveset is awful. It learns Hypnosis and Confuse Ray 2 levels apart, which means almost every Watchog you're gonna see is gonna know both moves. Therefore, it's gonna put you to sleep, and then you're finally gonna wake up only to punch yourself in the face. And while your Pokemon's sitting there taking a nice little nap while birds fly around its head, it's gonna use Super Fang on you, which will instantly half whatever health you happen to have. That's very frustrating because it's a Watchog. Any other attack it uses is barely gonna tickle. Not to mention, some of them also know Sand Attack or Detect, meaning that when you finally wake up, even if you don't hurt yourself in your confusion, you still may not hit it. Now, while Watchog's strategy is obviously very, very annoying, it's not necessarily more effective than the other strategies that I've put here on this list. Like I said, you never see Watchog in competitive. Well, there's 2 main reasons that put it atop this list as the most frustrating. The first of which is something I already mentioned. You see it everywhere. Watchog is a favorite of the Plasma Grunts, which means it's all throughout the game. You beat Team Plasma at the end of the game. There's Watchogs all throughout the playthrough. You'll have 8 badges and you're still dealing with a freaking annoying Watchog. It's all over the place. And the second reason, the biggest reason for me personally, is that it shouldn't be hard to beat. It is the early game, weak, normal type Pokemon of Unova. It should be effortless to blow this thing back. But it's not. You know you're going to win. You know that this Pokemon is virtually useless. Yet somehow it's still standing because it's been hypnosising and confuse-raying your team. Its strategy is just delaying the inevitable. You know you're going to win. You know that you're gonna crush this stupid meerkat, but it's just putting it off and wasting your time. And that is infuriating. In summary, Watchog is a terrible Pokemon. So therefore, its extremely annoying strategy that does nothing but waste your time is a very frustrating thing to see all over the place. Ah! So there we have it. Those are my top 10 most frustrating Pokemon to battle. I know there's probably several Pokemon that I didn't mention that you think are frustrating to battle, so if I didn't mention one of them, let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like on it, helps me out a lot. And if you're new here and like Pokemon, make sure you subscribe to my channel, make lots of fun Pokemon videos almost every day of the week. And if you're already subscribed to my channel and you really like actually seeing my videos, make sure you tap that bell so you turn on notifications, because otherwise, you may not see a video you want to see. Alright, that's all I have for now. So till next time, Pokefans, gotta catch them all!